Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda
ॐ नित्यानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वधी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. Nithyanandam. We welcome all the viewers of Kailasa's Nithyananda TV, all the devotees and disciples of His Divine Holiness Swamiji, and all the living and practicing Hindus across the globe for this Uttamottama Seva directly offered to Paramashiva in Adi Kailasa Nithyananda Peetham Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Devasthanam. Uttamottama Seva is the offering of all the best things that Paramashiva has provided to us in our lives. The essence of a life is the devotion to Paramashiva. The best thing that a human being can have in their life is the devotion towards Paramashiva. With that devotion, we are now going to offer the puja, the worship, as per the Kriyapada of the Kamikagama, the source scriptures of Sanatana Hindu Dharma, as revived by Jagatguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Swamiji, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism. We are now going to offer the best of best worships that is possible by a human being at the sacred divine feet of Shri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva. Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva is gracing in the form of the Swayambhu Linga, the self-evolved Linga in Adi KAILASA Nithyananda Peetham, Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Devasthanam. As we offer this Uttamottama Seva, we request all the devotees across the globe to be seated with your head, neck, spine in a straight line. Bringing your awareness to the Ananda Gandha, the space between your heart center and the navel center, connect yourselves in the space of oneness with Paramashiva by chanting the Mahavakya, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Continue to chant the Mahavakya in the space of oneness with Paramashiva by connecting yourselves with the Nijavatara of Paramashiva, His Divine Holiness Swamiji, as the worship to Paramashiva in Adi KAILASA Nithyananda Peetham is going to start now. As you do so, you will be able to connect with the presence of Paramashiva inside of you and outside of you in your life and manifest all the state, space, powers, being and superconsciousness and Kailasa of Paramashiva. Come, let's enter into this beautiful, powerful, sacred ritual of Uttamottama Seva at the feet of Shri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva. Om Nithyanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Yekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Samarambham Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Lalate Tripundri Nitila Krita Kasturi Tilakaha Sphuran Maladhara Spurita Katikaupi Navasanaha Dadhano Dustaram Shirasi Phanirajam Shashikalam Pradipas Sarvesham Arunagiriyogi Vijayate. Om Ganana Antva Ganapatigam Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravastamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashrinvan Utibhis Sidasadanam. Om Shri Mahaganapataye Namaha. Om Prano Devi Saraswati Vajebhirvajinivati Dhinam Avitryavatu Saraswatyai Namaha. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Om Namaste Rudramanyava Utota Ishave Namaha. Namaste Astu Dhanvane Bahubhyam Utate Namaha. Yata Shivatama Shivam Babhuvate Dhanuhu शिवा शरव्याया तव तया नो रुद्रमृडया या ते रुद्रशिवा तनूरघोरा पापकाशिनी तया नस्तनुवाशन्तमया गिरिशन्ताभिचाकशीः यामिषुङ्गिरिशन्तहस्ते बिभर्ष्यस्तवे शिवाङ्गिरित्रतां कुरु माहि गुंसीः पुरुषं जगत् शिवेन वचसा त्वा गिरिशाच्छावदामसि यथा नः सर्वमिज्जगदयक्ष्मगं सुमना असत् अध्यवोचदधिवक्ता प्रथमो दैव्योऽभिषक् अहीगुश्च सर्वा आञ्जम्भयन् सर्वाश्च यातु धान्यः असौ यस्ताम्रो अरुण उत बभ्रुः सुमङ्गलः ये चेमागं रुद्रा अभितो दिक्षु श्रिताः सहस्रशो वैशाखं खेडयीमहे असौ यो वसर्पति नीलग्रीवो विलोहितः उतैनं गोपा अदृशन्नदृशन्नुदहार्यः उतैनं विश्वाभूतानि सदृष्टो मृडयातिनः नमो अस्तु नीलग्रीवाय सहस्राक्षाय मीढुषे अथो ये अस्य सत्त्वानो हन्तेभ्यो करन्नमः प्रमुञ्च धन्वनस्त्वमुभयोरार्त्नियोर्ज्याम् याश्च ते हस्त इषवः पराता भगवो वपा अवतत्यधनुस्वगं सहस्राक्षशतेषुधे निशीर्य शल्यानां मुखा शिवो नः सुमना भव विज्यन् धनुः कपर्दिनो विशल्यो बाणवागम् उत अनेशन्नस्येष व आभुरस्य निषङ्गतिः या ते हेतिर्मीढुष्टमहस्ते बभूवते धनुः तयास्मान् विश्वतस्त्वमयक्ष्मया परिभुजा नमस्ते अस्त्वायुधायानातताय धृष्णवे उभाभ्यामुत ते नमो बाहुभ्यां तव धन्वने परिते धन्वनो हेतिरस्मान् वृणक्तु विश्वतः अथो य इषुधिस्तवारे अस्मन्निधेहितम् ॐ दशाङ्गं गुग्गुलोपेतं सुगन्धं च सुमनोहरम् आघ्रेयः सर्वदेवानां धूपोऽयं प्रतिगृह्यताम् ओम श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः धूपमाघ्रापयामि। ओम उद्दीप्य स्वजात वेदोपघ्नन् निरृतिं मम पशुगुश्च मह्यमावह जीवनं च दिशो दिशा मानो हिगुंसीज्जात वेदो गामच्छं पुरुषं जगत् अबिभ्रदग्न आगहि श्रियामा परिपातया। ओम श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः एकहारती दीपं संदर्शयामि। ओम अमृते अमृतोद्भवे अमृतवर्षिणि अमृतं श्रावय श्रावय स्वाहा। ओम श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः नैवेद्यं निवेदयामि। ओम तन्महेशाय विद्महे वाक्विशुद्धाय धीमहि तन्नः शिवः प्रचोदयात्। ओम श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः अभिषेकानंतर नीराजनं संदर्शयामि रक्षान् धारयामि। ओम नमस्ते अस्तु भगवन् विश्वेश्वराय महादेवाय त्र्यंबकाय त्रिपुरान्तकाय त्रिकालाग्निकालाय कालाग्निरुद्राय नीलकण्ठाय नित्यानन्दाय मृत्युञ्जयाय सर्वेश्वराय सदाशिवाय श्रीमन्महादेवाय नमः। नमो हिरण्यबाहवे सेनान्ये दिशाञ्च पतये नमो नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यः पशूनां पतये नमो नमः। सस्पिञ्जराय द्विषीमते पथीनां पतये नमो नमो बभ्लुषाय विव्याधिनेन्नानां पतये नमो नमो हरिकेशायोपवीतिने पुष्टानां पतये नमो नमो भवस्य हेत्यै जगतां पतये नमो नमो रुद्रायातताविने क्षेत्राणां पतये नमो नमः सूताय हन्त्याय वनानां पतये नमो नमो रोहिताय स्थपतये वृक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो मन्त्रिणे वाणिजाय कक्षाणां पतये नमो नमो भुवन्तये वारिवस्कृताय औषधीनां पतये नमो नमः। उच्चैर्घोषाय क्रन्दयते पत्तीनां पतये नमो नमः। कृत्स्नवीताय धावते सत्त्वनां पतये नमः। नमः सहमानाय निव्याधिन आव्याधिनीनां पतये नमो नमः। ककुभाय निषङ्गिणे स्तेनानां पतये नमो नमो निषङ्गिण इषुधिमते तस्कराणां पतये नमो नमो वञ्चते परिवञ्चते स्तायूनां पतये नमो नमो निचेरवे परिचरायारण्यानां पतये नमो नमः। सृकाविभ्यो जिघागुंसद्भ्यो मुष्णतां पतये नमो नमोऽसिमद्भ्यो नाक्तञ्जरद्भ्यः प्रकृन्तानां पतये नमो नम। उष्णीषिणे गिरिचराय कुलुञ्चानां पतये नमो नम। इषुमद्भ्यो धन्वाविभ्यश्च वो नमो नम। आतन्वानेभ्यः प्रतिदधानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नम। आयच्छद्भ्यो विसृजद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमोऽस्यद्भ्यो विद्यद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नम। आसीनेभ्यः शयानेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः। स्वपद्भ्यो जाग्रद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तिष्ठद्भ्यो धावद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमः। सभाभ्यः सभापतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो अश्वेभ्योऽश्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः। नमो भवाय नम आव्याधिनीभ्यो विविध्यन्तीभ्यश्च वो नमो नम। उगणाभ्यस्त्रिगंहतीभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो गृत्सेभ्यो गृत्सपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो। व्रातेभ्यो व्रातपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो। गणेभ्यो गणपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो। विरूपेभ्यो विश्वरूपेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो। महद्भ्यः क्षुल्लकेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो। रथिभ्यो रथेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमो। रथेभ्यो रथपतिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः। सेनाभ्यः सेनानिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः। क्षत्रिभ्यः सङ्ग्रहीतृभ्यश्च वो नमो नमस्तक्षभ्यो रथकारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः। कुलालेभ्यः कर्मारेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः। पुञ्जिष्टेभ्यो निषादेभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः। इषुकृद्भ्यो धन्वकृद्भ्यश्च वो नमो नमो। मृगयुभ्यश्वनिभ्यश्च वो नमो नमः। श्वभ्यश्वपतिभ्यश्च वो नमः। नमो भवाय च रुद्राय च नमः। शर्वाय च पशुपतये च नमो। नीलग्रीवाय च शितिकण्ठाय च नमः। कपर्दिने च व्युक्तकेशाय च नमः। सहस्राक्षाय च शतधन्वने च नमो। गिरिशाय च शिपिविष्टाय च नमो। मीढुष्टमाय चेषुमते च नमो। ह्रस्वाय च वामनाय च नमो। बृहते च वर्षीयसे च नमो। वृद्धाय च संवृध्वने च नमो। अग्र्याय च प्रथमाय च नम आशवे चाजिराय च नमः शीघ्रियाय च शीभ्याय च नम ऊर्म्याय च वस्वन्याय च नमः स्रोतस्याय च द्वीप्याय च नमो ज्येष्ठाय च कनिष्ठाय च नमः पूर्वजाय च परजाय च नमो मध्यमाय च पगल्भाय च नमो जघन्याय च बुध्न्याय च नमः सोऽभ्याय च प्रतिसर्याय च नमो याम्याय च क्षेम्याय च नम उर्वर्याय च खल्याय च नमः श्लोक्याय च वसान्याय च नमो वन्याय च कक्ष्याय च नमः श्रवाय च प्रतिश्रवाय च नमः आशुषेणाय चाशुरथाय च नमः शूराय चावभिन्दते च नमो वर्मिणे च वरूथिने च नमो बिल्मिने च कवचिने च नमः श्रुताय च श्रुतसेनाय च नमो दुन्दुभ्याय च हनन्याय च नमो धृष्णवे च प्रमृषाय च नमो दूताय च प्रहिताय च नमो निषङ्गिणे चेषुधिमते च नमस्तीक्ष्णेषवे चायुधिने च नमः स्वायुधाय च सुधन्वने च नमः श्रुत्याय च पथ्याय च नमः काट्याय च नीप्याय च नमः सूद्याय च सरस्याय च नमो नाद्याय च वैशन्ताय च नमः कूप्याय च वट्याय च नमो वर्ष्याय च वर्ष्याय च नमो मेघ्याय च विद्युत्याय च नम ईर्ध्रियाय च तप्याय च नमो वात्याय च रेष्म्याय च नमो वास्तव्याय च वास्तुपाय च ॐ नमः सोमाय च रुद्राय च नमस्ताम्राय चारुणाय च नमः शङ्गाय च पशुपतये च नमः उग्राय च भीमाय च नमो अग्रे वधाय च दूरे वधाय च नमो हन्त्रे च हनीयसे च नमो वृक्षेभ्यो हरिकेशेभ्यो नमस्ताराय नमः शम्भवे च मयो भवे च नमः शङ्कराय च मयस्कराय च नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च नमस्तीर्थ्याय च कूल्याय च नमः पार्याय च वार्याय च नमः प्रतरणाय चोत्तरणाय च नम आतार्याय च लाद्याय च नमः षष्ट्याय च फेन्याय च नमः सिकत्याय च प्रवाह्याय च नम इरिण्याय च प्रपथ्याय च नमः किगुंशिलाय च क्षयणाय च नमः कपर्दिने च पुलस्तये च नमो गोष्ठ्याय च गृह्याय च नमस्तल्प्याय च गेह्याय च नमः काट्याय च गह्वरेष्ठाय च नमो हृदय्याय च निवेष्ट्याय च नमः पागुंसव्याय च रजस्याय च नमः शुष्ट्याय च हरित्याय च नमो लोप्याय चोलप्याय च नमः ऊर्व्याय च सूर्म्याय च नमः पर्ण्याय च पर्णशद्याय च नमोपगुरमाणाय चाभिघ्नते च नमः आखिदते च प्रखिदते च नमो वह्किरिकेभ्यो देवानागं हृदयेभ्यो नमो विक्षीणकेभ्यो नमो विचिन्वत्केभ्यो नम आनिर्हतेभ्यो नम आमीवत्केभ्यः द्रापे अन्धसस्पते दरिद्रन्नीललोहिता येषां पुरुषाणामेषां पशूनां माभेर्मा रोमो येषां किञ्चनाममत् या ते रुद्रशिवा तनुः शिवा विश्वाह भेषजी शिवा रुद्रस्य भेषजी तया नो मृडजीवसे इमागुं रुद्राय तवसे कपर्दिने क्षयद्वीराय प्रभरामहे मतिम् यथा नः शमसद्विपदे चतुष्पदे विश्वं पुष्टं ग्रामे अस्मिन्ननातुरम् मृडानो रुद्रोतनो मयस्कृधि क्षयद्वीराय नमसा विधेमते यच्छञ्च योश्च मनुरायजे पिता तदश्याम तव रुद्रप्रणीतौ मानो महान्तमुतमानो अर्भकं मानवुक्षन्तमुतमानवुक्षितम् मानो वधीः पितरं मोतमातरं प्रियामानस्तनुवो रुद्ररीर्षः मानस्तोकेतनये मान आयुषि मानो गोषु मानो अश्वेषु रीर्षः वीरान्मानो रुद्रभामितो वधीर्हविष्मन्तो नमसा विधेमते आरात्ते गोघ्न उत पूरुषघ्ने क्षयद्वीराय सुम्नमस्मे ते अस्तु रक्षा च नो अधि च देव ब्रूह्यधा च नः शर्म यच्छद्विबर्हाः स्तुहि श्रुतं गर्तसदंयुवानं मृगन्न भीममुपहत्तुमुग्रम् मृडाजरित्रे रुद्रस्तवानो अन्यन्ते अस्मन्निवपन्तु सेनाः परिणो रुद्रस्य हेतिर्वृणक्तु परित्वेषस्य दुर्मतिरघायोः अवस्थिरा मघवद्भ्यस्तनुष्वमीढ्वस्तोकायतनयाय मृडया मीढुष्टमशिवतमशिवो नः सुमना भव परमे वृक्ष आयुधन्निधाय कृत्तिं वसान आचर पिनाकं बिभ्रदागहि विकिरिदविलोहित नमस्ते अस्तु भगवः यास्ते सहस्रगंहेतयोऽन्यमस्मन्निवपन्तु ताः सहस्राणि सहस्रधा बाहुवोस्तव हेतयः तासामीशानो भगवः पराचीनामुखाकृधि सहस्राणि सहस्रशो ये रुद्रा अधिभूम्याम् तेषागं सहस्रयोजने वधन्वानि तन्मसि अस्मिन्महत्यर्णवेऽन्तरिक्षे भवा अधि नीलग्रीवाः शितिकण्ठाः शर्वा अधः क्षमाचराः नीलग्रीवाः शितिकण्ठादिवगं रुद्रा उपश्रिताः ये वृक्षेषु सस्पिञ्जरा नीलग्रीवा विलोहिताः ये भूतानामधिपतयो विशिखासः कपर्दिनः ये अन्येषु विविध्यन्ति पात्रेषु पिबतो जनान् ये पथां पथि रक्षय ऐलभृदायव्युधः ये तीर्थानि प्रचरन्ति सृकावन्तो निषङ्गिणः य एतावन्तश्च भूयागंसश्च दिशो रुद्रावितस्थिरे तेषागं सहस्रयोजने वधन्वानि तन्मसि नमो रुद्रेभ्यो ये पृथिव्यां ये एन्तरिक्षे ये दिवि येषामन्नं वातो वर्षविषवस्तेभ्यो दश प्राचीर्दश दक्षिणा दश प्रतीचीर्दशोदीचीर्दशोर्ध्वास्तेभ्यो नमस्ते नो मृडयन्तु ते यन्विष्मो यश्च नो द्वेष्टितं वोजम्भे दधामि त्र्यम्बकं यजामहे सुगन्धिं पुष्टिवर्धनम् उर्वारुकमिव बन्धनान् मृत्योर्मुक्षीयमामृतात् यो रुद्रो अग्नौ यो अप्सु यवोषधीषु यो रुद्रो विश्वा भुवना विवेश तस्मै रुद्राय नमो अस्तु तमुष्टु हि यस्विषुः सुधन्वा यो विश्वस्यक्षयति भेषजस्य यक्ष्वा महेशौ मनसाय रुद्रं नमोभिर्देवमसुरन्दुवस्य ॐ अयं मे हस्तो भगवान् अयं मे भगवत्तरः अयं मे विश्वभेषजो यगं शिवाभिमर्शनः ॐ तन्महेशाय विद्महे वाग्विशुद्धाय धीमहि अन्नः शिवः प्रचोदयात् ॐ श्री नित्यानन्देश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवाय नमः अलङ्कारानन्तरं नीराजनं सन्दर्शयामि ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्वक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ शन्नो मित्रश्चं वरुणः तन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मावादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामावीत् तद्वक्तारमावीत् आवीन्माम् आवीद्वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ तच्छंयोरावृणीमहे गातुं यज्ञाय गातुं यज्ञपतये दैवी स्वस्तिरस्तु नः स्वस्तिर्मानुषेभ्यः ऊर्ध्वं जिगातु भेषजम् शन्नो अस्तु द्विपदे शञ्चतुष्पदे ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ सहस्रशीर्षा पुरुषः सहस्राक्षः सहस्रपात् स भूमिं विश्वतो वृत्वा अत्यतिष्ठद्दशाङ्गुलम् पुरुष एवेदगं सर्वम् यद्भूतं यच्च भव्यम् उतामृतत्वस्येशानः यदन्नेनातिरोहति एतावानस्य महिमा अतो ज्यायागिश्च पूरुषः पादोऽस्य विश्वाभूतानि त्रिपादस्यामृतं दिवि त्रिपादूर्ध्वौ दैत्पुरुषः पादोऽस्येहाभवात् पुनः ततो विश्वं व्यक्रामत् शासनानशने अभि तस्मात् विराडजायत विराजो अधिपूरुषः तजातो अत्यरिच्यत पश्चाद्भूमिमथो पुरः यत्पुरुषेण हविषा देवा यज्ञमतन्वत वसन्तो अस्यासीदाज्यम् ग्रीष्मयुध्मः शरद्धविः सप्तास्यासन् परिधयः त्रिसप्तसमिधः कृताः देवा यद्यज्ञन्तन्वानाः अबध्नन् पुरुषं पशुं तं यज्ञं बर्हिषि प्रौक्षन् पुरुषं जातमग्रतः तेन देवा अयजन्त साध्यार्षयश्च ये तस्माद्यज्ञात् सर्वहुतः संभृतं पृषदाज्यम् पशुगुस्तागुश्चक्रे वायव्यान् आरण्यान् ग्राम्याश्च ये तस्माद्यज्ञात् सर्वहुतः ऋतः सामानि जज्ञिरे छन्दागुंसि जज्ञिरे तस्मात् यजुस्तस्मादजायत तस्मादश्वा अजायन्त एके चोभयादतः गावोह जज्ञिरे तस्माज्जाता अजावयः यत्पुरुषं व्यदधुः कतिधा व्यकल्पयन् मुखं किमस्य कौ बाहु कावोरूपादावुच्येते ब्राह्मणोऽस्य मुखमासीत् बाहुराजन्यः कृतः ऊरु तदस्य यद्वैश्यः पद्भ्यागुं शूद्रो अजायत चन्द्रमा मनसो जातः चक्षोः सूर्यो अजायत
मुखादिन्द्रश्चाग्निश्च प्राणाद्वायुरजायत नाभ्या आसीदन्तरिक्षम् शीर्ष्णोद्यौः समवर्तत पद्भ्याम् भूमिर्दिशः श्रोत्रात् तथा लोकागम् अकल्पयन् वेदाहमेतम् पुरुषम् महान्तम् आदित्यवर्णम् तमसस्तु पारे सर्वाणि रूपाणि विचित्य धीरः नामानि कृत्वाभिवदन् यदास्ते धाता पुरस्ताद्यमुला जहार शक्रः प्रविद्वान् प्रदिशश्च तस्रः तमेवं विद्वान् अमृत इह भवति नान्यः पन्था अयनाय विद्यते यज्ञेन यज्ञमयजुन्त देवाः तानि धर्माणि प्रथमान्यासन् ते हनाकम् महिमानः सचन्ते यत्र पूर्वे साध्याः सन्ति देवाः अध्यः सम्भूतः पृथिव्यैरसाच्च विश्वकर्मणः समवर्तताधि तस्य त्वष्टा विदधद्रूपमेति तत्पुरुषस्य विश्वमाजानमग्रे वेदाहमेतम् पुरुषम् महान्तम् आदित्यवर्णम् तमसः परस्तात् तमेवं विद्वान् अमृत इह भवति नान्यः पन्था विद्यते यनाय प्रजापतिश्चरति गर्भे अन्तः अजायमानो बहुधा विजायते तस्य धीराः परिजानन्ति योनिम् मरीचीनाम् पदमिच्छन्ति वेधसः यो देवेभ्य आतपति यो देवानाम् पुरोहितः पूर्वो यो देवेभ्यो जातः नमो रुचाय ब्राह्मये रुचम् ब्राह्मम् जनयन्तः देवा अग्रे तदब्रुवन् यस्त्वैवम् ब्राह्मणो विद्यात् तस्य देवा असन्वशे ह्रीश्च ते लक्ष्मीश्च पत्न्यौ अहोरात्रे पार्श्वे नक्षत्राणि रूपम् अश्विनौ व्यात्तम् इष्टम् मनिषाण अमुम् मनिषाण सर्वम् मनिषाण ॐ राजाधिराजाय प्रसह्य साहिने नमो वयम् वै श्रवणाय कुर्महे समे कामान् कामकामाय मह्यम् कामेश्वरो वै श्रवणो ददातु कुबेराय वै श्रवणाय महाराजाय नमः ॐ तन्महेशाय विद्महे वाग्विशुद्धाय धीमहि तन्नः शिवः प्रचोदयात् ओम श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। नानाविध दीपोपचार राजोपचार पूजां समर्पयामि। ओम दशांगं गुग्गुलोपेतं सुगंधं सुमनोहरम् आघ्रेयः सर्वदेवानां धूपोऽयं प्रतिगृह्यताम्। ओम श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। धूपमाघ्रापयामि। ओम साज्यं त्रिवर्ति संयुक्तं वह्निना योजितं मया गृहाणमङ्गलं दीपं त्रैलोक्यतिमिरापहम्। ओम श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। एकहारती दीपं संदर्शयामि। ओम अमृते अमृतोद्भवे अमृतवर्षिणी अमृतं श्रावय श्रावय स्वाहा। ओम श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। नैवेद्यं निवेदयामि। निवेदनानन्तरमाचमनं समर्पयामि। ओम तन्महेशाय विद्महे वाग्विशुद्धाय धीमहि तन्नः शिवः प्रचोदयात्। ओम श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। कर्पूर नीराजनं संदर्शयामि। रक्षां धारयामि। ओम योपां पुष्पं वेद पुष्पवान् प्रजावान् पशुमान् भवति। चन्द्रमा वा अपां पुष्पं पुष्पवान् प्रजावान् पशुमान् भवति। य एवं वेद योपामायतनं वेद आयतनवान् भवति। ओम श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। वेदोक्त मंत्र पुष्पांजलिं समर्पयामि। The next part of the Uttamottama Seva today is the offering of the Chaturvedas, the offering of the Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda and the Atharvaveda at the divine feet of Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva. Devadevottama Devata Sarvabhauma Akhilandakoti Brahmandanayaka Shri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva चतुर्वेद प्रिय चतुर्वेदमवधारया। हरि ओम। अग्निमीळे पुरोहितं यज्ञस्य देवं ऋत्विजं होतारं रत्नधातामं। हरि ओम हरि ओम। इषेत्वोर्जेत्वा वायवस्थोपायवस्थदेवो वः सविता प्रार्पयतु श्रेष्ठतमाय कर्मणे। हरि ओम अग्न आयाहि वीतये गृणानो हव्यदातये निहोता सत्सि बर्हिषि। हरि ओम शन्नो देवीरभिष्टय आपो भवन्तु पीतये शंयोरभिस्रवन्तु नः। हरि ओम। The next offering during the Uttamottama Seva is the offering of the Agamas, the source scriptures of Sanatana Hindu Dharma at the sacred divine feet of Paramashiva. Devadevottama Devata Sarvabhauma Akhilandakoti Brahmandanayaka Shri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Agamapriya Agamashlokam Avadharaya. अति कौतूहलाविष्टा पृच्छस्येतच्छृणु प्रिये यन्मे नेत्रान्तरे वह्निः यद्वामृतमनुत्तमम्. The next offering during the Uttamottama Seva today is the offering of the stotras, the hymns on Paramashiva. Devadevottama Devata Sarvabhauma Akhilandakoti Brahmandanayaka Shri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Stotra Priya Stotram Avadharaya. Dusvapna Dushakuna Durgati Daurmanasya Durbhiksha Durvyasana Dussaha Duryasham Sivutpatata Vishabhiti Masatgraharti Vyadhimscha Nashayatu Me Jagatamadhishaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Sadashivaya Sakala Tattvatmakaya Sarva Mantra Swarupaya Sarva Yantradhishthitaya Sarva Tantra Swarupaya Sarva Tattva Viduraya Brahma Rudravatarine Neelakanthaya Parvati Manoharaya Soma Suryagnilocanaya Bhasmodhulita Vigrahaya Mahamani Mukutadharanaya Manikya Bhushanaya Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Kala Raudravataraya दक्षाध्वरध्वंसकाय महाकालभेदनाय मूलाधारैकनिलयाय तत्त्वातीताय गंगाधराय सर्वदेवाधिदेवाय षडाश्रयाय वेदान्तसाराय त्रिवर्गसाधनाय अनन्तकोटिब्रह्माण्डनायकाय वासुकितक्षककार्कोटकशङ्खगुलिकपद्ममहापद्मेत्यष्टमहानागकुलभूषणाय प्रणवस्वरूपाय चिदाकाशाय आकाशदिक्स्वरूपाय ग्रहनक्षत्रमालिने सकलाय कलङ्करहिताय सकललोकैककर्त्रे सकललोकैकभर्त्रे सकललोकैकसंहर्त्रे सकललोकैकगुरवे सकललोकैकसाक्षिणे सकलनिगमगुह्याय सकलवेदान्तपारगाय सकललोकैकवरप्रदाय सकललोकैकशङ्कराय शशाङ्कशेखराय शाश्वतनिजावासाय निराभासाय निरामयाय निर्मलाय निर्लोभाय निर्मदाय निश्चिन्ताय निरहङ्काराय निरङ्कुशाय निष्कलङ्काय निर्गुणाय निष्कामाय निरुपद्रवाय निरवध्याय निरन्तराय निष्कारणाय निरन्तकाय निष्प्रपञ्चाय निस्सङ्गाय निर्द्वन्द्वाय निराधाराय निरागाय निष्क्रोधाय निर्मलाय निष्पापाय निर्भयाय निर्विकल्पाय निर्भेदाय निष्क्रियाय निस्तुलाय निस्संशयाय निरञ्जनाय निरुपमविभवाय नित्यशुद्धबुद्धपरिपूर्णसच्चिदानन्दाद्वयाय परमशान्तस्वरूपाय तेजोरूपाय तेजोमयाय जय जय रुद्र महारौद्र भद्रावतार महाभैरव कालभैरव कल्पान्तभैरव कपालमालाधर खट्वांग खड्गचर्मपाशाङ्कुशडमरुशूलचापबाणगदा शक्तिभिन्दिपालतोमरमुसलमुद्गरपाशपरिघभुशुण्डीशतघ्नीचक्राद्यायुध भीषणकर सहस्रमुखदंष्ट्राकरालवदन विकटाट्टहास विस्फारितब्रह्माण्डमण्डल नागेन्द्रकुण्डल नागेन्द्रहार नागेन्द्रवलय नागेन्द्रचर्मधर मृत्युञ्जय त्र्यम्बक त्रिपुरान्तक विश्वरूप विरूपाक्ष विश्वेश्वर वृषभवाहन विषभूषण विश्वतोमुख सर्वतो रक्ष रक्ष मां ज्वल ज्वल महामृत्युम् अपमृत्युभयं नाशय नाशय चोरभयम् उत्सादय उत्सादय विषसर्पभयं शमय शमय चोरान् मारय मारय मम शत्रूनुच्चाटय उच्चाटय त्रिशूलेन विदारय विदारय कुठारेण भिन्धि भिन्धि खड्गेन छिन्धि छिन्धि खट्वाङ्गेन विपोथय विपोथय मुसलेन निष्पेषय निष्पेषय बाणैः सन्ताडय सन्ताडय रक्षांसि भीषय भीषय भूतानि विद्रावय विद्रावय कूष्माण्डमारीचवेतालब्रह्मराक्षसगणान् सन्त्रासय सन्त्रासय माम् अभयं कुरु कुरु वित्रस्तं माम् आश्वासय आश्वासय नरकभयान् माम् उद्धर उद्धर सञ्जीवय सञ्जीवय क्षुत्रिभ्यां माम् आप्यायय आप्यायय दुःखातुरं माम् आनन्दय आनन्दय शिवकवचेन माम् आच्छादय आच्छादय मृत्युञ्जय त्र्यम्बक सदाशिव नमस्ते नमस्ते। The next offering during this Uttama Seva is the offering of the Dravida Vedam. Devadevottama Devata Sarvabhauma Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka Shri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Dravida Veda Priya Dravida Vedam Avadharaya Tiruchitrambalam மந்திரமாவது நீரு வானவர் மேலது நீரு சுந்தரமாவது நீரு துதிக்கப்படுவது நீரு தந்திரமாவது நீரு சமயத்தில் உள்ளது நீரு செந்துவர் வாயுமை பங்கன் திரு ஆலவாயான் திருநீரே திருச்சிற்றம்பலம். The next offering during the Uttamottama Seva today is the offering of the Kailasa Vadyam. Devadevottama Devata Sarvabhauma Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka Shri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Kailasa Vadya Priya Kailasa Vadyam Avadharaya. The next offering during the Uttamottama Seva today is the offering of the Shaktis of Paramashiva at the Paramashiva, the Paramashiva Shakti Avishkarana Seva, the manifestation of the Shaktis of Paramashiva. Devadevottama Devata Sarvabhauma Akhilanda Koti Brahmanda Nayaka Shri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta Shri Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva Paramashiva Shakti Avishkarana Priya Paramashiva Shakti Avishkaranam Avadharaya.
Nithyanandam Paramasukadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gahanasudrusham Tattvamasya Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trinarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandam, in today's offering towards Sri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameha Sri Nithyanandeshwari Paramashiva, as part of today's Uttamattama Seva, we are here to offer this Shakti Avishkarana, manifestation of powers towards Swamiji and towards Paramashiva and Parashakti. In today's manifestation, we are here to manifest the power manifestation of consciousness or matter, where through your consciousness, where you don't have your identity on with yourself and remove that and have Paramashiva as only cognition, having the cognition Paramashiva is real, seeing every single object in front of you, either as a matter or as a thought action, everything is Paramashiva. Having that cognition, manifesting this power of consciousness or matter. His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, has brought this science of manifestation many years ago, where now it has become as a Sakshi Pramana to everybody, where every single person can manifest just through an initiation. Initiation can happen either through a word, look, or a touch from an avatar, or from an experience in a enlightened being towards his disciple. His Divine Holiness Swamiji has an Atma Pramana, his own experience, where he manifests this power and he experienced the space of enlightenment in the tender age of 12, where he was able to see everything around him. He has experienced the 360-degree vision. His third eye was completely awakened. In that point of time, his first Samadhi experience clicked him of the space of enlightenment himself, and he started radiating the space and powers of Paramashiva. With that space, with the intense solid experience in him, where it is completely real, he experienced Paramashiva as real. Now, the same transmission of that energy has been transferred to us, and we are manifesting it as a Sakshi Pramana, as a evidence that Swamiji's experience is real. His manifestation of powers and his first Samadhi experience he had in the tender age of 12 is real. In the Vedas and Agamas, which are the source book of Hinduism, Paramashiva clearly describes the power manifestation, the powers of Paramashiva. There are about 463 plus powers, Paramashiva clearly tells, and this one such power is consciousness over matter. Starting off with the manifestation of third eye, closing your eyes and reading blindfolded, able to scan a person's body, able to scan a remote place across the globe, able to move the matter, able to increase the height, decrease the height, much more. This such power is using your third eye, looking at the matter and moving it just like that, without touching it or without even moving your hand. His Divine Holiness has given initiation to everybody, and this is one of the super cool powers and which can easily manifest just to connect with him in the space of oneness. Few words of what is oneness and why Swamiji is doing this, all this science, and making us to manifest this power and taking us to the superconscious breakthrough. When you are connecting with the space of oneness, you are in the moment that you and Swamiji are one and the same. Swamiji is neither Paramashiva or you are not neither his disciple. You know you are Paramashiva. The consciousness inside you, the space inside you, the dimensions inside you is Paramashiva, and Swamiji himself is Paramashiva. So when you are getting connected to that space of oneness, you manifest this power. You know you and him are one and the same when you are connecting with him and chanting the Maha Vakya. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, invoking him, bringing him down to make this manifestation happen. Swamiji is physically present and he makes the manifestation takes place. His Divine Holiness beautifully tells, I am not here to prove that I am God. I am here to prove that each and every single individual of you out there is God. That's my mission of this incarnationhood which I came to this planet, to make millions across the globe get enlightened and to achieve what he experienced as Paramashiva, as the cosmos, as the avatar. By manifesting this power, we are increasing the level of consciousness, where from conscious to superconscious breakthrough, from human to divine superhuman, where we experience the subtle space of enlightenment. We know that we are not the one who is manifesting. Swamiji is the one who is coming through us and making this happen. When this consciousness or matter, this manifestation takes place, it may look too simple that you move a coconut through your third eye, it becomes a playful mood. But Swamiji tells, an intense healing happens inside you and towards the other person who is manifesting. Either you as a manifester or the other opposite person who is sitting as an observer and sitting to witness this manifestation. Intense healing happens to him. All the incompletions, pain, what powerlessness, some obstacles you may have, but you have no solution for that. But just by observing this manifestation or as a witness, you can heal your incompletions and be in the complete state of completion. So now, before entering into the science and into this demonstration of consciousness or matter, Swamiji always tells, like how I mentioned earlier, Swamiji is not brought the science of manifestation. About 60,000 years ago or millions of years ago, Paramashiva himself, the one who plays the 5 actions of creation, maintenance, sustenance, rejuvenation, pulling out of delusions, sitting with Mother Parashakti herself, running this whole cosmos, described in the Vijnana Bhairava Tantra, Dharana 120, verse 95, where he himself describes this power manifestation towards Parashakti herself. So now, I will be reciting this verse, and then we'll get into the space of the demonstration of the power manifestation. Kvachit vastuni vinyasya shanai dhrishtim nivartayet tajnanam chitta sahitam nivishunyalayo bhavet. By reciting this verse, having the blessings and grace of Paramashiva, now let us all get into the space of oneness, connecting with Swamiji by chanting the Mahavakya intensely and manifest this power as of consciousness or matter and offer it towards Swamiji. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 With this, we offer this science of manifestation of ours, this demonstration of consciousness or matter, towards Sri Nithyanandeshwari Parashakti Sameta Sri Nithyanandeshwari Paramashiva as part of today's Uttama Seva. Thank you, Nithyanandam.
देवदेवोत्तमं देवताः सार्वभौमम् अखिलाण्डकोटिब्रह्माण्डनायकं श्रीनित्यानन्देश्वरी पराशक्तिसमेतं श्रीनित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवम् अष्टपुष्पैरभ्यर्च्य ॐ तन्महेशाय विद्महे वाग्विशुद्धाय धीमहि तन्नः शिवः प्रचोदयात्। ओम श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिवाय नमः। मंगल नीराजनं संदर्शयामि रक्षान् धारयामि। देवदेवोत्तम देवता सार्वभौम अखिलाण्डकोटि ब्रह्माण्ड नायक श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिव आशीर्वाद प्रिय आशीर्वादमवधारय। ओम स्वस्ति प्रजाभ्यः परिपालयन्तां न्याय्येन मार्गेण महीं महिषाः गोब्राह्मणेभ्यः शुभमस्तु नित्यं लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु। काले वर्षतु पर्जन्यः पृथिवी सस्यशालिनी देशोऽयं क्षोभरहितः ब्राह्मणाः सन्तु निर्भयाः इति स्वस्ति मंत्रार्थाः सत्याः सफला भवन्तु इति भवन्तो महान्तोऽनुगृह्णन्तु। तथास्तु। दुर्जनः सज्जनो भूयात् सज्जनः शान्तिमाप्नुयात् शान्तो मुच्येत बन्धेभ्यः मुक्तश्चान्यान् विमोचयेत् इति भवन्तो महान्तोऽनुगृह्णन्तु। तथास्तु। अपुत्राः पुत्रिणः सन्तु पौत्रिणः अधनाः सधनाः सन्तु जीवन्तु शरदः शतम् इति भवन्तो महान्तोऽनुगृह्णन्तु। तथास्तु। राजा धर्मपतिः प्रजाः सुचरिताः पूजाधनाः सज्जनाः षट्कर्म प्रवरा द्विजाः प्रतिदिनं विद्या अनवद्या सदा वाणी सन्निहिता चिरं कविमुखैः सानन्दमव्याकुलाः सर्वे सन्तु वैदिकधर्म अनुष्ठातारः सौजन्यसन्तोषिणः इति स्वस्ति मन्त्रार्थाः सत्याः सफला भवन्तु इति भवन्तो महान्तोऽनुगृह्णन्तु। तथास्तु। येषां देवदेवानां महादेवानाम् अखिलाण्डकोटिब्रह्माण्डनायकानां सकलभुवि सृष्टिस्थितिसंहार तिरोभाव अनुग्रहाख्य पञ्चकृत्यपरायणानाम् आदिमध्यान्तरहितानाम् अप्रमेयपराक्रमाणां तत्त्वार्थगोचराणां श्रीनित्यानन्देश्वरी पराशक्तिसमेत श्रीनित्यानन्देश्वर परमशिवस्वरूपाणां श्री आदिगुरु अरुणगिरि योगीश्वर स्वरूपाणां श्री कालभैरव महाकाली स्वरूपाणां श्री कैलासोन्नत द्वादशान्त श्यामलापीठारूढ़ श्री मीनाक्षि सुंदरेश्वराभिन्न स्वरूप परशिवपुत्र रत्नकुमार गुरुमण्यतुल्यावतार श्री पार्वती स्तन्यपान लब्ध दिव्यज्ञान विश्रुत सकल निगमागमसारभूत द्राविड वेद प्रवक्तृ श्रीमत् परमशिव करुणा समधिगत मुक्तामय चतुरश्रया नगीयमान छत्र चामर श्रीचिह्नकाहलादि समस्त बिरदावल्यलंकृत ज्ञान विज्ञान चक्रवर्ती सर्वजन संघ सद्यो निर्वाण दीक्षा व्ययापवर्ग वर्ष विश्राण जीमूत परमत कलभ केसरी शैव सिद्धांत स्थापनाचार्य श्री राजाधिराज पांड्य महाराज गुरु क्षपण शाक्यादि महांधकार निवारण ज्ञान भानु वीक्षणानर्हार्ह ध्वजोच्छेदन पूर्वक श्रीमद् वृषभध्वज स्थापक शैव समय कर्तृ सर्वज्ञ पीठारूढ़ श्री जगद्गुरु श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशिक स्वामी वागीश सुंदर माणिक्य वाचक स्वामी नाम अवतार भूत श्री ज्ञान संबंध स्वामी पुनरुद्धृत श्यामला पीठ सर्वज्ञ पीठ त्रिनवत्युत्तर द्विशततम गुरु महासन्निधानानाम् अरुणगिरि योगीश्वर परंपरागत अरुणाचल सर्वज्ञ पीठ गुरु महासन्निधानानाम् कैलास परंपरागत कांची कैलास सर्वज्ञपीठ त्रयस्त्रिंशदुत्तर द्विशततम गुरु महासन्निधानानां नित्योत्सव नित्यमंगल नित्य कल्याण नित्यरजित कैलास परंपरागत आदि कैलास नित्यानंद पीठ महासंस्थान महासिंहासन पीठ कर्तॄणाम् साक्षात् श्री परमशिव समुद्भूत कपिल महागुरु पुनरुद्धृत महानिर्वाणि पीठ अष्टोत्तर सहस्र श्री महामंडलेश्वराणाम् साक्षात् श्री परमशिव सिंहासनाभिषिक्त समस्त गणनायक श्री महागणपति समारंभ अनवच्छिन्न पीठाधीश्वर गुरु परंपरा प्राप्त अटल पीठ अष्टोत्तर सहस्र श्री अटल पीठाधीश्वराणाम् धर्म मुक्ति स्वर्गपुर स्वर्ण पीठ त्रयोविंश गुरु महासन्निधानानाम् कैलास परंपरागत आदि पीठ सर्वज्ञ पीठ जगद्गुरूणाम् श्री कैलास पुनरुद्धारकाणाम् श्री कैलास परमाचार्याणाम् श्रीमत् परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य वर्याणाम् सच्चिदानंद प्रणव स्वरूपाणाम् श्रोत्रिय ब्रह्मनिष्ठानाम् श्रीमज्जगद्गुरूणाम् श्रील श्री भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव श्री ज्ञान संबंध देशिक परमाचार्य स्वामिनां पादारविन्दयोः भक्ति सिद्धिः समेषां सहकुटुम्बानां सकलैश्वर्य प्राप्तिः गुरुकृपा कटाक्ष सिद्धिः क्षेम स्थैर्य वीर्य विजय आयुरारोग्य ऐश्वर्याणाम् अभिवृद्धिः धर्मार्थ काम मोक्ष चतुर्विध फल पुरुषार्थ सिद्धिः सर्वेषां मनसा चिन्तित सत्कार्यानुकूल सिद्धिः सर्वदेव देवी स्वरूपस्य भगवच्छ्री नित्यानंद परमशिवस्य पादारविन्दयोः अचञ्चला भक्ति सिद्धिः भगवच्छ्री नित्यानंद परमशिव प्रसादेन सकुटुम्बस्य ज्ञानवैराग्य जीवन मुक्ति प्राप्तिश्च भूयात् इति भवन्तो महान्तोऽनुगृह्णन्तु तथास्तु सर्वे जनाः सुखिनः सन्तु तथास्तु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु तथास्तु समस्त सन्मङ्गलानि सन्तु तथास्तु सर्वत्र नित्यानन्दध्वजारोहणं भवतु तथास्तु सर्वेषां भगवच्छ्रील श्री नित्यानंद परमशिव श्री ज्ञानसम्बन्धदेशिक परमाचार्य स्वामिनां परिपूर्ण कृपा कटाक्ष सिद्धिः अस्तु तथास्तु अयं धर्मः उत्तरोत्तरम् अभिवृद्धिरस्तु तथास्तु सर्वं श्री भगवच्छ्री नित्यानंद परमशिव पादुकार्पणमस्तु ओम नित्यानन्दम् मंगलम कल्पवृक्षाय मंगलम ज्ञानदायिने सदाशिवाय श्री नित्यानंदेश्वराय मंगलम मंगलम श्री विद्यांबायै मंगलम कामदायिन्यै सर्वमंगलदात्री नित्यानंदेश्वर्यै मंगलम मंगलम गुरुदेवाय मोक्षमूलाय मंगलम परावतार नित्यानंदाय गुरवे मंगलम् मूलमन्त्रं यथाशक्ति जप्त्वा यत्किञ्चित् कर्म देवेश सदा सुकृतदुष्कृतं तन्मे शिवपदस्थस्य भुङ्क्ष्व क्षपय शङ्कर शिवो दाता शिवो भोक्ता शिवः सर्वमिदं जगत् शिवो यजति सर्वत्र यः शिवः सोऽहमेव तु ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ॐ तत्सत् सर्वं भगवच्छ्री नित्यानंद परमशिव पादुकार्पणमस्तु ॐ नित्यानन्दम् Upcoming next is the Nitya Satsang by Jagatguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Swamiji. देवदेवोत्तम देवता सार्वभौम अखिलांड कोटि ब्रह्मांड नायक श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी पराशक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परमशिव ज्ञानपाद विवरण प्रिय ज्ञानपाद विवरणमवधारय.
Place called Gauri Kund. One day suddenly, in the evening, a bright young sadhu walking towards me. Then he smiled and he gave me this name which I am carrying now, Paramahamsa Nithyananda. The spiritual name is useful in three ways. One, this is the path for you to travel. Second, that is the goal you need to achieve. Third, it's my blessing, you will travel in that path and achieve that goal. The spiritual name is creating a new being. Each spiritual name I give you is the space you are supposed to create within you. I have heard about Babaji in the young age, and when I was traveling in Himalayas just before the Kedarnath, there is a place called Gauri Kund. One day suddenly, in the evening, a bright young sadhu walking towards me. Then he smiled and he gave me this name which I am carrying now, Paramahamsa Nithyananda. The spiritual name is useful in three ways. One, this is the path for you to travel. Second, that is the goal you need to achieve. Third, it's my blessing, you will travel in that path and achieve that goal. The spiritual name is creating a new being. Each spiritual name I give you is the space you are supposed to create within you. What I mean by the word KAILASA, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is Kailasa. What I mean by the word KAILASA?
Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda 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 Paramashivoham. Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda 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 Paramashivoham. Om Nityananda
What I mean by the word KAILASA, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is Kailasa. What I mean by the word KAILASA, listen intensely. Enlightenment ecosystem, literally enlightenment itself, in your own home, wherever you are. If you cannot come to Kailasa, it's okay. Kailasa can come to you. Kailasa coming to you is Kailasa.
Om Nithyananda
Nityanandam Paramasugatam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrusham Tattvamasyaadhilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Triguna-rahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Nithyanandam, we offer our humble obeisance, our humble pranam at the divine lotus feet of the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagatguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam. We welcome all the viewers across the world for this Uttamottama Seva to Paramashiva. With the most auspicious blessing on the great occasion of the Skanda Sashti and Guru Payachi, today we would like to welcome you all for this Uttamottama Seva. We welcome all the viewers across the world for this most auspicious Uttamottama Seva to Paramashiva, offered from Nityanandeshwara Paramashiva Devalayam in Adi Kailas Sarvajnapeetham. For those of you who are tuning in for the first time to Kailasa's Nithyananda TV, welcome to the official TV channel for Sri Kailasa, the only and cosmic borderless Hindu nation. Nithyananda Paramashivam, His Divine Holiness, is the reviver of Kailasa, the ancient enlightened civilization, and the great cosmic borderless Hindu nation. His Divine Holiness is an avatar from and is the cosmic and is the Supreme Pontiff of Hindu nation, cosmic borderless Hindu nation. His Divine Holiness has made the science of power manifestation, yoga, temple-based universities for humanity. Sovereign Order of Kailasa, run by His Divine Holiness, and Nithyananda Order of Monks, Nuns, and Hindu diaspora are working for global peace and to give a super consciousness breakthrough to humanity. Nithyananda Hindu University is the world's largest university, is the extended campuses in 150 countries, is collecting, organizing, preserving, time capsuling, decoding, spreading, and preserving, time capsuling, decoding, and spreading the reviving the 20 million source books of Hinduism and the 64 sacred arts and the sciences like Ayurveda, music, dance, sculpting, astrology, and Vastu. His Divine Holiness is the Supreme Guru Mahasannidhanam, 293rd Guru Mahasannidhanam of Shravala Peeta Sarvajnapeetham, the ancient apex body of Hinduism. His Divine Holiness is the current emperor of the Surya Vamsha Surangi Samrajyam. His Divine Holiness has survived the multiple assassination attempts, the worst persecution on person and character by anti-Hindu elements. To explore the videos, you can visit KAILASA's Nithyananda YouTube channel. For all of us, millions of Sri Kailasavasis all over the world, you and me, if we have had any spiritual breakthrough, any great experience of Kundalini awakening, if today we're able to manifest Shaktis, it is because at the mere age of 12, His Divine Holiness did the Tyaga of utmost sincerity and ferociousness with himself, and manifesting this ultimate spiritual breakthrough. Paramashiva has come down to planet Earth and manifested this grand Leela of his life for each and every one of us to be part. His Divine Holiness has taken this physical form and came down from Kailasa itself. Now that His Divine Holiness is here, we can celebrate his happening on planet Earth by spreading his message of Sri Kailasa to one and all on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and many other social media platforms. As we continue this Uttamottama Seva introduction, offering of Uttamottama Seva to the Skanda, the Lord Subramanya, on the eve of Skanda Sashti, and the Guru, then the Paramashivam, let us see, and the pre-satsang leading to satsang. Let us do what are all we can do to reach this message of Sri Kailasa. There are innumerable reasons why His Divine Holiness happened on planet Earth. He happened to cause the next evolutionary breakthrough for life on Earth. He happened to cause the next evolutionary breakthrough for life on Earth. He happened to cause the Satya Yuga once again. He happened for the fulfillment of consciousness itself, and he happened for the entire humanity, and he happened exclusively for you at the same time. Ultimately, however, in words that quite be summarized either by himself or his devotees, the true reason behind happening of His Divine Holiness is nothing but pure compassion. This realization will happen to you after reading and listening to the full life story of His Divine Holiness, all of his gifts for humanity, and all of his sacrifices. You will journey through all the years that his feet graced on planet Earth. You will learn the greatest of his lessons, and your aspirations for life itself will mature. You yourself will have the realization that brings tears to your eyes and ultimate surrender to your mind. The avatar of Paramashiva happened on planet Earth just to ensure you realize you are also Paramashiva. Today, during the Uttamottama Seva to Paramashiva, the Lord Subramanya and His Divine Holiness, as a gratitude offering, we would like to explore more on His Divine Holiness experiences on his relation with Lord Subramanya. Listening to the experiences of His Divine Holiness is literally an initiation. The seed of possibility for that experience to happen in you is bestowed and blessed on us. We must understand that the ultimate truth, His Divine Holiness, life, is that from the very beginning, He is the ultimate consciousness and has been expressing Paramashiva from the beginning. Never once He came down from that space. Just for the sake of our transformation, His Divine Holiness shared these experiences in His life so that our whole biology can catch what He's saying and what He's experienced to reflect that very experience in our space. When we listen to that experience, we have the opportunity to raise ourselves that minute to the higher level consciousness. Having this in our inner space, let us understand the relationship, the experiences of His Divine Holiness. As the most compassionate answer to the deep prayers of billions of people and countless other living beings who yearn for a conscious breakthrough, the Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagatguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, descended on planet Earth on January 2nd, 1978. His Divine Holiness was birthed by a group of enlightened beings who realized their divine purpose was directly facilitating the happening of superconsciousness in the physical plane. In order to sustain the superconsciousness energy in the physical body, his gurus trained His Divine Holiness with extreme yoga and various other spiritual practices. His Divine Holiness narrates in his own words, "Before my own gurus made me manifest this spiritual alchemy science, I was put into Kaumara Sadhana, the Skanda Sasti Vrata. Experience Kaumara or Subramanya Kaumara on Skanda Sasti day. During the Skanda Sasti 6 days of Vrata, not eating anything, making Subramanya Yantra on sacred ash, worshipping and facilitating Skanda Sasti Kavacham and the Moola Mantra 36 times. Subramanya Moola Mantra 36 times. It was a special practice. I was personally initiated by Mataji Vibhudananda Puri. Not only I completed it successfully, I had great darshan of Lord Subramanya and received this whole spiritual alchemy science as one gift. After that, till I had this public life, never missed the Skanda Sasti Vrata. This is one of the most powerful spiritual experiences I had. Now, this year, whatever His Divine Holiness was given at the time is going to be used in for all of us during the Paramashivoham program, all of us devotees. Subramanya is the Lord of the spiritual alchemy science. That is why the greatest spiritual alchemists, the 18 Siddhas, all consider themselves as the descendants of Subramanya and revere them as the Guru of their Sampradaya. What's more, the most spiritual product anyone can possibly develop on planet Earth is Navapashana, Subramanya standing on Palani Hill. Before Swamiji continues to narrate that before my own gurus made me manifest spiritual alchemy science, I was put this great process of Subramanya Vrata. Since then, he continued, and still continuing, never missed this Vrata, and he encourages all his devotees to do this Vrata. Today, we are offering the Uttama Seva to Lord Subramanya and the Guru, His Divine Holiness, our beloved Guru, His Divine Holiness, Nithyananda Paramashivam, on this auspicious Guru Payachi day. Uttama Seva is an offering of best of the best to Nithyanandeshwari Paramashiva and Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva and Lord Subramanya and our beloved Guru, His Divine Holiness. The Uttama Seva is the Vedic ritual from the source, from the Agamas. Uttama means the best of the best, and Seva is offering. It is the ritual of offering the best of the best to Paramashiva. Whatever we offer to Paramashiva comes back to us many thousandfold, many millionfold. And Paramashiva is the source of everything, be it grains, knowledge, a skill, or people, everything. Offering the best of the best is the way we can offer our gratitude to Paramashiva and being integrated to him and his words. Agamas is the only thing we can offer and actually offer him. Hence, as per the instructions of Paramashiva, in the physical form, the Sachilamurti, the avatar, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Nithyananda Paramashivam, we offer this seva to Nithyanandeshwara Paramashiva, the presiding deity of the Nithyananda Sangha. Uttamottama Seva is an intrinsic ritual that is described by Paramashiva himself. So many offerings are there that came down from the best of the best offered in Vedic tradition. From the instruments to the offering of food that
Check, check, check. Nityanandam, we welcome one and all, each and every person here to Nityananda TV, Kailasa's official news channel. Today, we'll be discussing some topics about Varna and Jati and how both of them have been misrepresented, misinterpreted, and have been demolished by anti-spiritual elements, anti-Hindu elements, and how it was such an important part of society, how society was able to be functioning, society was able to live for such a long time, smoothly, prosperously, and everything we have in our life right now, be it small things like the way our traditions in our home was maintained, or even things like the Gayatri Mantra, which the Brahmins chant every day. All of this was only possible because of the unique Varna and Jati system which was created and which was sustained by our ancestors for so many thousands of years. Let us now look into that. Jati and Varna. Why does everyone get confused? The first thing, Jati is the caste in which you are born in. Varna is the caste in which you choose to be in. And this was made a confusion thanks to the British. They, for the sake of their vested interests, for making everyone into clerks, and for destroying the creativity, destroying the diversity we had amongst ourselves within our own Varna and Jati system, for the sake of robotizing everyone and bring everyone under one roof. They had they had subtly studied our caste system, studied what is Jati, what is the caste system according to us, and based on that, they made their own rules for it, made their own laws, legislations, and had to and forcefully made everyone else in Hinduism, made everyone else in the country follow their rules and their laws. We'll get more about into this in the further segments. And basically, it became a confusion thanks to the British, as the British wanted to make everyone as a worker, everyone as a slave, wanted to keep all Hindus only as people who will do a clerk's job. It is for that reason they destroyed the Varna and Jati system. Instead of the uniqueness which is offered through the Varna and Jati, they began combining it, and they ultimately brought confusion among the Jati system to Hindus themselves, to Hindus ourselves. Mughals tried to destroy and make everyone slaves. British converted and diluted and trying to make everyone into clerks. Now, what is Jati? Jati is the professional guild you are born in. There are more than 30,000 different types of Jati in Hinduism. Varna may be a thought of division of labor in society, but Jati is like a professional association, like the Institute of Engineers. So this question comes up a lot, and Swamiji beautifully had answered it the other day in Satsang. So Jati, if you see many people, let's take Rajputs for example. Many of the Rajputs have become Kshatriyas. They protect the kingdom, they are politicians, and so on. Being a Rajput, naturally, as so many people are already Rajputs, their sons, their grandsons, their future generations, everyone will be brought up in that kind of atmosphere where they learn about politics, they learn about they learn about the weapons, all those things they learn because that is the Vatavarana, that is the environment in which they live in. So naturally, the Rajputs who are Kshatriyas, then other Rajputs also, the future generations, many of them will end up as Kshatriyas because that is the Vatavarana in which they live and they are brought up in. But that does not mean that all Rajputs have to be Kshatriyas or all Rajputs end up to be Kshatriyas. There are many Rajputs who do not fall in that category. There are people who decide that they do not want to live a violent life. They do not want to have a life where they are continuously in fear of their life for so many different reasons, where they did not want to indulge in politics. They have chosen to be in a different Varna and want to pursue a different career option, different profession, and this was completely allowed in Hinduism. Jati was more like a clan, a society, a community, a community in which one is born, and naturally they will be associated with a Jati because that is the Jati from which they are born in. In Hinduism, including birth, as Swamiji says, in Hinduism, including birth, nothing happens by chance, nothing happens by accident, nothing is by the will of a greater power. Even your birth is something which you have chosen. If you are born to certain parents, it is because you have chosen them, you are born to them. And that is the greatness of Hinduism. That is the level of depth and insight our rishis had in consciousness, in the world, and it is that science which has been destroyed systematically by the British and by the Mughals. So now let's see, how did the British mess up this system? The British started associating jatis with specific jatis with specific varnas, and started brainwashing everyone by saying that certain jatis belong to that certain varna. Some jatis, like in the Saraswata jati, a lot of them became Brahmanas. In the jati of the Rajputs, a lot of them had become Kshatriyas, but not all of them were. It is through this most but not all, the British started the association of jatis with a specific varna, which were the downfall of the Hindu stable society. So as we were explaining before, some jatis, like the Saraswata jati, Swamiji had beautifully explained that day in Satsang, that it is not people who were the rishis who, because they in search of the higher knowledge, the greater truths, they ended up at the banks of Saraswati. But people who live on the banks of Saraswati, naturally they also, just imbibing and living around the Saraswati river, their brain cognition, the cells, the level of consciousness just increases dramatically. So naturally, when such consciousness awakening has happened inside of a person, just by living around the Saraswati river, then they will automatically become Brahmanas, because they are now evolved souls. So being a Brahmana is so natural for them that they choose to be in the Brahmana Varna. But as many of people do it, it is not that all people fall in that category. And Hinduism extends our arms, and we welcome people who wish to change their varna simply based on their will. If they choose, even if they're born to the Saraswati Jata, if they choose not to be Brahmanas but to enter into a different caste, to enter into a different varna, to enter into the varna of Kshatriya, to enter into the varna of Vaishya, it was allowed, it was encouraged, and no one was stopped for changing their varna. It was such a beautiful system which our ancestors had laid for us. It is because of this beautiful system Hinduism lasted for the thousands of years that it did. And it is because of the system so many great sciences were able to be kept alive. It is not too late to revive the system. All you need to do is go to tinyurl.com/Hindu votes and choose what do you think should be the stance on Hinduism, the stance on Kailasa based on the Varna and Jati system. You will now be watching a small video about being an elite citizen in Kailasa.
I welcome all of you, the whole world, to come and celebrate, enjoy not only the enlightenment ecosystem, the beauty of how it is getting revived. Be an insider for this great revival process. If you are an insider even for a startup company, you will understand not only the result of the company, even that being an insider is such a joy. Being an insider, when it was happening, is something extraordinary. So, I welcome all of you to come and be part of an insider of this revival of Kailasa, the enlightenment ecosystem, sovereign order of Kailasa, Kailasa nation itself. I request and welcome, invite all of you to become e-Kailasian, get your free e-passport and make billions receive this free e-passport.
Now, Jati and Varna. Let us first understand what does caste mean. According to the renowned speaker Rajiv Malhotra, in an article he says, caste is a corruption of casta, a Spanish-Portuguese word detailing of how society in colonial America should be fragmented on the basis of purity of blood and lineage and social status based on the profession that he and his forefathers had done. Hence, caste is completely different from jati, whereas hereditary, hierarchical social divisions based on lineage, gotra, region and social profession which has hierarchical status in society. As Rajiv Malhotra beautifully says here, caste was a word created by the Spanish and Portuguese based on the purity of lineage and social status. So many of us would be familiar with the medieval times and how they used to function. So caste was used to identify the lineage, how a king, their sons, their grandsons, to keep the lineage, to keep the purity of bloodline, as they like to call it. For maintaining that, the Spanish and Portuguese invented the word casta and used it for their societal living. When the British came to India, they took the same concept of casta and they tried to enforce it into our tradition, try to enforce it into our own society. And that is where the corruption, the dilution, the manipulation of the Hindu Varna and Jati system started. And this because of what the Spanish and Portuguese had started, the caste and casta concept, which the British tried to force on us as jati, you can see how it is very different from casta, where it is not based on a specific bloodline, it is not based on a lineage, a direct lineage from father to son, but it is based on a community. Anyone can join a community, anyone can, whenever they want, leave and go from a community, but it is based on a whole communitical sangha arrangement. It is based on that group of people, or like a clan, as you can call it, and that is what is jati. Be it jati or be it varna, both of them were a choice. You can choose to change your jati and you can choose to change your varna. Both were given as a choice in Hinduism. In Hinduism, even changing a DNA is possible. There is no such thing as anything impossible in Hinduism. When things as seeing the stars, accessing the past and future records, changing our DNA, birthing children through homas and yajnas, when such great feats are possible by us, why would we stop? Why would we lower ourselves, limit ourselves to not changing between the jati and varna? Hinduism, not only just having a great social structure, was very flexible with it as well, and that is why it was made as the ideal civilization. The ideal way for society to function was because of the jati and varna system. So from where did exactly this manipulation start? According to hinduismnow.org, the 1800s, based on Darwin's idea of evolution of species, many Europeans started this idea of evolution of races. Though Darwin never talked about the races themselves, they said Africans were the lowest and Europeans the highest, and so on. And this science of race was imported into India and mapped by race scientist Herbert Risley, who was appointed the Census Commissioner of India. He categorized and made a hierarchy of the various jatis or professional guilds and wrongly mixed that up to the 4 varnas, which is a scientific way of analyzing mental setups and not a discriminatory, defined by birth, rigid condemnation of individuals, which is what the Europeans were doing to everyone with their idea of higher and lower races. So as you can see here, the British had taken the ideas from the West, from Europe, And not all those ideas also, they did not take Darwin's idea of evolution the complete way. They took his idea of evolution, they manipulated to their vested interest about race, and they started implementing it, they started forcing it upon everyone who they had conquered. And as you can see here, they had imported to India a race scientist, Herbert Risley, who was brought in just to enforce this culture, just to put in this idea of a higher and of a lower existence, of a hierarchy in the Hindu society. It is because of Herbert Risley, so much of contribution which could have been done to society by Hinduism was lost. It is because of the destruction done by the British at the time of their rule, so much of advancement in technology, advancement in society could have happened. But because of the half-baked theories, unmature realizations and cognitions, whatever they understood with their limited knowledge, limited logic, limited experience, manipulating the half-baked knowledge which they had, today Hinduism in India suffers for it. In Hinduism, we never believed in the impossible. Hinduism never believed anything was unchangeable. Your mental setup, your physical body, including your DNA, and even the laws of physics. It is the European idea of superiority of their skin that made them project the idea of unchangeable and by birth nature to the jatis of India. As previously we discussed, there is nothing as impossible in Hinduism. Your body, your gender, your DNA, everything the Hindu rishis had found a way and had experienced and had made this into a science where there's nothing impossible for a human being. When you come to Hinduism, you will learn about the multiple possibilities which are there, given to you, gifted to you as you have assumed the human body. Experiencing life to its fullest. That was what Hinduism had to offer for those who came to Hinduism. We had more than enough to teach, to offer, to shower, and even more than that, not just for the sake, not just in terms of spirituality, but in terms of having a highest living in an elite way with such a rich society. How is it possible that the interchangeability of varna and interchangeability of jati did not exist? Logically, it does not make sense. And it is because of this, manipulating this concept, abusing this, is what the British were very successful in doing. And even now, Hindus are confused about the jati and varna system. Even though the jati and varna system is a big hush-hush topic amongst Hindus in the society, and it is because of things like the abuse of the caste system. Hindus are afraid and Hindus are ashamed of their own religion, of the legacy their forefathers withheld for us. Swamiji is reviving this ancient science, reviving this ancient structure, ancient laws, to bring back the stability, bring back the advancement which was able to happen because of the jati and varna system. Through Kailasa, the only Hindu nation, Swamiji is trying to achieve the impossible by bringing back how Sanatana Hindu Dharma lived so many thousands of years ago, including the jati system. If you want to be a part of this, if you want to take part in such a historical happening, all you need to do is visit tinyurl.com/Hindu votes and vote what is your opinion on the caste system. What do you think Kailasa should do in terms of the caste of the Varna and Jati system? It is true that knowledge was kept in families and that families of a particular trade used to marry within themselves. But that is not that is a phenomenon that is common on every part of the world and in every subpart. But nowhere was a right denied by birth, nowhere were a particular mental setup looked down upon. Everyone had their role to play, and power was equally distributed. So many people, in the name of trying anti-spiritual Hindu elements, and in the name of trying to trying to misrepresent Hinduism, they try to bring up the point, saying how even now this practice exists where certain families will not marry outside; they will marry within their families. All this practice, even now, it exists. True, but it was not limited to that. As previously we had discussed, they have taken what many but not all. Using that, many Brahmanas, many people who live on the Saraswati river become Brahmanas, but that does not mean everyone who lives on the Saraswati river become Brahmanas. Taking that same concept, using that same logic, they are applying it everywhere and using it as a one-stop shop way to destroy all the practices of Hinduism. Families marry within themselves to maintain a science, and it is because of this tradition where some families married within themselves to retain, to keep some sciences alive for the world. It is because of that we have what we have right now, little bit left as Hinduism. Without what they had did, the sacrifice they had made of not marrying without their community, with not marrying beyond their community, it is actually such a great sacrifice which they had made just in order to retain the purity of Hinduism, retain the sciences they were protecting, and not understanding the sacrifice they have made, but seeing it as how conservative and how backwards Hinduism was. It is because of this Hindus themselves, modern day Hindus themselves, are feeling ashamed about the existence, about the societal function our forefathers, our ancestors had left for us. And it is they who are doing the real damage to Hinduism. As Swamiji again and again tells, whatever British had done, they had come, finished, and gone long back. But it is modern day India, modern day Hindus who still suffer with what they had left and still holding on to the damage which the British had done and gone. Now, we'll be watching a small video on being a citizen of Kailasa.
Whatever you think as your strength, like how much cash you have, how much gold you have, how much money you have in the bank, what all properties you have, your secret passwords, passcodes, your strength secrets, you will tell only to your son or your daughter to whom you are going to give your inheritance. Same way, most important, powerful secrets Paramashiva has given to his son Muruga, Subramanya, in Agama called Sarvanyanottara. All the powerful secrets father will tell only to his son. It's too secret. I am going to open that Agama and give all the essence of all those secrets. Secrets of Charyapada lifestyle, secrets of Kriyapada, secrets of Yogapada, and secrets of Jnanapada. I am not only going to teach you, I am going to give you exactly what Paramashiva gave it to Subramanya. Because Paramashiva himself is manifesting through this being now, giving you all exactly what was given to Subramanya. Nothing is required from your side. Just sit like innocent Subramanya. Muruga at the feet of Paramashiva. I assure you, whatever was given to Subramanya, the whole life will be given to you now. not just words, teachings, not even just experience, life itself. I am talking to each one of you sitting in your room. I'll make you all Subramanya.
Welcome back. For those of you joining us right now, we were on Nithyananda TV, Kailasa's official TV channel. We are discussing about the Jati and Varna system and how the British had systematically destroyed it and brought confusion to Hindus themselves upon their own Varna and Jati system. Let us look into the real definitions of the different Varnas. The scholars who were interested in pure knowledge were called Brahmanas, but they had to live by begging only so that they will use their knowledge to serve society. The warriors or Kshatriyas were to defend their kingdom, but they had strong rules to make sure that they never abused their powers. Vaishyas controlled the wealth and commerce and movement of goods. Shudras owned all the lands. There was no superiority and no inferiority. Everyone had their part to play, and each one had the important part to play in society. As you can see here, the caste system was beautifully distributed. It was beautifully, it's like a function of a body. The brain does what the brain does. The hands, the legs, all of them do what they do. That does not mean what the brain does is superior to what the hands do. What the legs do is inferior to the functions of the heart or the lungs. Each part of the body is important for the whole body to function as a whole. Hindu society, the Varna and Jati system were that for Hinduism. They were literally the life functions of Hinduism. They did not do the same thing, and they did not do something which was higher or lower than each other. Each one of them had their own unique aspects of life. Each one of them did different things. They did what they did so others could do what they could do. For the Kshatriyas to protect and keep the city safe, the Shudras did the agriculture work and provided the food to everyone. For the teaching, for the advancement in life to happen, the Brahmanas, they did the job of teaching. And the Vaishyas, they did the job of managing the wealth. They did the job of circulation and handling of the commerce. Everything was a beautifully balanced system. And when the system is brought back into society, we can be rest assured that so many of the modern day problems in terms of corruption, in terms of untrustworthiness, in where overuse of resources happen, all these problems can be avoided. All these problems can even be solved if we bring back the original Varna and Jati system as per Sanatana Hindu Dharma, as it is laid down in the scriptures. Just bringing that back is more than enough to solve all the modern day problems, all the societal problems which we are suffering with now. Swamiji mission is to enlighten and raise the consciousness of everyone in the world. And by bringing back this Sanatana Hindu Dharma, this lifestyle of ancient societal living, only by doing so will humans be able to raise their consciousness and will be able to live a peaceful, prosperous, and continuously evolving ourselves, live that kind of life. It is very important to bring back this caste system. As Swamiji is reviving this ancient system, through Kailasa, the only Hindu nation, you can be a part of this historical event as well, of this historical happening of revive of the revolution and reviving of the ancient tradition. All you need to do is visit tinyurl.com/Hindu votes and voice out your opinion on what is the caste system, on what is the Varna and Jati system, and how should Kailasa take its stance appropriately upon it. Moving on. The Varna system, the greatest freedom offered to men. The Varna system was the greatest freedom offered to men. It recognized everyone's choice and gave them a rightfully place in society. Power was equally balanced and nothing was restricted by birth, only by intent and declaration. As you can see here, as we previously had discussed, it is because of the balance, the Varna and Jati system. It is because both of them were equally balanced and distributed to society. We were able to have the freedom, not only the freedom, but the freedom in creativity, the freedom in advancement of technology. So much was able to happen because of the flexibility of the caste system as well. We all know the stories of Vishwamitra, stories of Valmiki, of Dhruva, Prahalada, Vyasa. All of them were not from the same Varna in which they were born in. Valmiki was a hunter. He became one of the Maharishis. Vishwamitra Kshatriya, who did penance and changed his very way of living and attained the state of being a Brahma Rishi. And Dhruva and Prahalada, both who are worshipped by the whole world, worshipped by everyone in the world, both of them are born from demon families. So caste, jati, what you were born from never mattered. But the merit based on your deeds, your actions, the personality of who you are, and what is your contribution to the world, that is what measured a person in Hindu society. Bringing back the Hindu societal way of existence is Swamiji's mission. And through Kailasa, the only Hindu nation, Swamiji is reviving this system and bringing the system back into place. To be a part of this historical movement, you can go visit tinyurl.com/Hindu votes and participate in Kailasa's voting system, Kailasa's vote, where you can voice out your opinions about what you feel should be the stance for Hinduism on the Varna and Jati system. Please feel free to join the conversation on Twitter as well with the hashtag Hindu votes are sacred. Moving on. Now we'll be watching a small video by Rajiv Malhotra explaining the caste system.
races being less evolved and more evolved. Even though Darwin did not want to apply it that way, he was talking about plants and animals and how they evolve and all that. But some people started saying that these Africans are less evolved, Europeans are more evolved, and so on. So this evolution of races became known as race science. It was a science taught in European universities called race science. It was considered a branch of science. And there you would study races from a scientific point of view to discuss who's better, worse race, all that. And Lord Risley was a race scientist who was appointed to be the Census Commissioner of India. So his job was to come up with the census of India using the framework of race. Okay, so this framework of race that Risley did in 1881, 91, 2000, 1901, like every 10 years there was a census. So he started listing the different jatis, and he called them castes. Casta is a Portuguese word, it's not even a Sanskrit word. So he referred to them as castas or castes, and he took all the jatis, made his own judgment on who he thought is more superior and who's inferior, based on who resembled more some Europeans, who was closer to them, or who was better off in terms of economic strata. So he made his own hierarchy, and in his first census report, when he's writing his comments in the beginning of his census report, he says that some of these people are so ignorant they don't even know which caste they are. I have to tell them which caste they are. Yeah, because the head of the jati would say, we don't fit in your framework, or we can't tell you how many people are here, there. We can't even relate to this. It was a foreign framework forced on them. But gradually, people started complying with this colonial lens of caste framework, because this is how you could get facilities from the government. You had to be included in the government naksha, in their map. You had to be included somewhere. You had to fit somewhere, and then you could get the facilities from government, whatever the government facilities were, because the British were running the government. So if you wanted any facilities, you can't be an outsider to it. If you were an outsider, those people were called tribes. So even tribe is a kind of a very prejudiced term. We should not use some jatis. We should not call them tribes. Tribes is also a colonial term for people that they were not able to quote civilize. Those they could bring into their framework and put them in a hierarchy of your upper caste, lower caste, this one, that one, that one. Those are called castes, and then the others are called tribes. And they also had this Criminal Tribes Act, because some of the tribes would fight by what today would be called terrorists. They would fight for their homeland. They did not want British cutting the forest and building railways and so on. They felt that the British are disrupting their economy, their ecosystem, and so these tribes, so-called tribes, these communities living in forest areas would, sabotage some convoy and all that, and they were considered very terrible people, and so they were called criminal tribes. So the Criminal Tribes Act said that any member of one of these tribes is a criminal by birth. So maybe they would be called terrorists. Baby, they would fight for their homeland. He's born, they would fight for their homeland. They did not. So they were subject to Holocaust. We don't genocide. We don't talk about these things. Thugs. We've accepted the word thug as a pejorative, but it's a jati. There's nothing pejorative about them. It's like Patel or Malhotra or Kapoor or Smith or whatever. It's just a community. But the British characterized them, branded them as a criminal tribe and among the worst. And so after enough usage, the word thug became we also accept it as, if somebody's a thug, it means that he's a criminal kind of person. But it was just the name of a community. So this whole casteization of India is being blamed. Now the worst thing is that they start blaming the Indians for it. So after creating this, then they're saying this is part of your heritage and you guys are casteist and all that. But actually this has been imposed on us. So what would I do? I would remove all privileges based on collective identity, like caste, and I would give privileges based on individual need and individual merit. So if a person is poor, he's poor. He needs help. If a person is physically disabled or in some underprivileged situation, and there has to be a criteria for what constitutes, being underprivileged. So anybody who's underprivileged as an individual needs help. It has nothing to do with his fathers, great fathers, and the rest of the people in his caste, because you can have billionaire Dalits also, and you can have poor Brahmins also. In fact, you do. So it has to be, once you shift this emphasis from caste-based privilege to privilege based on individual need, then you also dismantle the whole caste vote bank kind of structure, because then, rather than giving vote to a political bank who's going to look after your whole caste, that no longer would be the case. So these are very big sweeping changes. If they are ever going to happen, it will take a lot of courage from your people.
That was a beautiful video by Raji Malhotra expanding on the caste system and how Hinduism has been cheated, how Hinduism how the British misrepresented Hinduism, and how how systematically the caste system was destroyed by the British. Now we have heard so much and spoken so much about the Hindu caste system and Hindu Varna and Jati system. So after listening to all this, you might be sitting at home and thinking, what is it I can do to, how is it that anything I do would change something which can affect the whole world? Your vote can contribute to that change. The Supreme Pontiff of Hinduism, Jagatguru Mahasannidhanam, His Divine Holiness, Bhagavan Sri Nithyananda Paramashivam, through KAILASA, the world's greatest Hindu nation, has been conducting responsible voting for the last 26 years, bringing about a huge revival of Hinduism. This time the topic is extremely important for all of us as humans. Our one vote can decide the quality of life we live. If you feel that if anything which we spoke today has reverberated with you, if you feel that this is something of great importance, if we do not act now, we will not have a future generation who will live prosperly, who will live happily, who will even have a living existence to begin with. If you feel that some change needs to be done, some action needs to be taken for the injustice which is happening to Hinduism, all you need to do is visit tinyurl.com/Hindu voting /Hindu votes and place your vote on what is the stance KAILASA as a nation should take on the Varna and Jati system. Let us now enter into the meditation. Please sit straight with your head, neck, and spine in a straight line. Close your eyes and chant the Mahavakya. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham.
I bless you all. Let you all open all your three eyes and manifest the powers of Mahasannidhanam. Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Paramashivoham.
Place called Gauri Kund. One day suddenly, in the evening, a bright young sadhu walking towards me. Then he smiled and he gave me this name.